Hello, welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. While reviewing the footage of the last episode, I noticed I apparently lost the last 8 minutes of audio on that because I had muted the microphone to avoid some outside noise and it didn't switch back on. But you didn't lose too much. I just, what did you do? Oh yes, undock the Minmus tourists who had brought the supplies to the Minmus station, quickly land them on Minmus to do the flag planting for the pilot who still needed that, and basically launch again and return to do the return burn to Kerbin. That's about all, and nothing much was lost, so I probably won't do a voiceover for that. Now, in this episode, I went ahead and made some slight modifications to the MunTourist standard vessel to change it so that it is will be used for sending people to solar orbit training. Let's quickly load the MunTourist. So this one, which we have also been using to land on Minmus, for example, recently with this tourist crew. It has a little bit more deltaV actually, 6,300 meters per second. That's, well, it's a lot, basically. A little too much for going to solar orbit training. So I decided, let's see, where is it? Here. To reduce the overall deltaV a little and also add a one of these orbital compartments to give the crew a little bit of stretching room and add another crew member. So this is now for 4 crew members, or 3 with a lot of leg room, and also replace the engine here with a more standard looking engine and slightly change the shape of this tank, but and I think I reduced the deltaV here a little. I definitely shortened the tank on the upper stage so that we only have 1100 meters. Assuming we need about 200 of that for orbit circularization, then this should leave us with 900, just short of getting to escape velocity, and then the rest can be done by this by the ship itself. Change anything here, and of course shortened the SRBs a little to compensate for the overall reduction in mass. Anyway, that's what I will try. It's a little bit more expensive, not very much. Actually, this tank here, the procedural tank, is more expensive than the bigger tank I had before, but the cost reduction on the solid rocket booster stage compensated for that. We will probably see less of a refund there when they land, but that's okay. Anyway, I ordered a couple of these. As soon as they're ready, we will do a launch and send some more Kerbals on trainings. In the meantime, we still have this Minmus Mun ScanSat burn to do. And let me check whether there's anything else. The upgrades are still working. We are back at 1.8 million funds. A lot of money, so we earned a lot of money with the tourist contracts, and the Minmus 5P station is ready, so maybe we'll launch that before taking care of this burn. So, launch. No passengers placed, thank you. Set was this target 80, well, let's say 87. What is the current setting for the ascent profile here? Let's see. Why is the apoapsis showing? What is wrong? Okay, something is going on here. I just restarted or started the Kerbal Space Program before, this episode, so we should not have any such issues, but whatever. Kerbal Space Program. Let's launch into plane of target 3. We just missed it. Let's see. You know what? Let's just launch right away. I will take care of arming this. Oh. Check if I launch until 6 degrees. Yeah, that's the correct direction. Ascent looks fine, good power on all the engines, and no issues with being underpowered or dropping below the planned flight path, so we may actually be able to go down to 84 here, or maybe even, let's say, 79. And that's the solid rocket boosters, they were non-recoverable anyway. Core stage continuing to burn and will actually bring us to orbit. Also, the interstage fairing has held, so apparently it really was the problem that it was a little too high or too long, and I can fix the same problems on all of the other interstages. Fairings. Let's actually ditch this first prograde. Antenna, where's the other antenna? Do I have another antenna? I don't even remember. Okay, I want to ditch this stage here. So, even though it still has a little bit of thrust fuel left, yeah, I really want to get rid of that. So let's state this. And gauge autopilot again, so that we can head for circularization. Actually, this booster is a little overpowered by, let's say, 200 meters per second. So okay, another to do. I edit this. Oh, come on. Well then. Second from stage. No. Just turn off. Okay, like this. .53 degrees, that's quite a bit, but we should still be fine. And how far is this node away? Actually, abort. And I want to execute this here. Just in case we happen to lose connection. And that's still plenty of deltaV for all of the transfers. Okay, off. Now, let's see. We're here. Target is set. Moment transfer to target. Create node. We will. Oh, we actually have an encounter. Well. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the encounter is a little off, but what happens if I add... No, nothing. Okay, so let's say we perform this burn and then do an automatic plane correction, inclination change, and that should be fine. That's in 2 minutes, so let's go. Execute next node. Maybe I should actually rotate my designs so that it will automatically put the panels north-south if I plan to use them with the flight computer. Because then I wouldn't have to turn them manually every time to make sure both panels have sunlight. Yeah, that doesn't affect it. Okay, off. Oh, good. Let's see, what did we get? Pretty much what we expected, okay. Now, let's say we do a friction burn somewhere. Oh, I actually didn't need to go into inclination at all because basically it's at very low inclination here. Okay, let's see. What if we add something there? Doesn't really matter where we land. I could even use this orbit and just use a polar orbit to land somewhere funny. Actually, let's do that. So what we want to do is get closer so that the insertion burn is easier. So let's say still want this, but also a little bit away. Yeah. And it's nice and polar, and 25 kilometers. Yeah, why not? Let's go a little 15. Yeah, 15 is good. Okay. Okay, so that node. Then I want the circularization burn right about there. Periapsis, great. One we remove. There's our circularization burn. Not sure whether we will really execute them like that, but for the time being, let's schedule all of these. And depending on how well this goes, of course, we need to check them. But this should be fine for the moment. So, need to do anything here? No, I don't have a directional antenna on this, right? No. Okay. Well then, that's fair enough. I don't need this one. Center. And the liquid stage up there still had enough to perform both the plane change as well as the insertion burn, so there's plenty of deltaV on this rocket. Let's see whether we can actually remove a little bit. Well, Minmus 5P station, there it is, but let's load it anyway. So might be able to remove this from here, or the cost of this tank, 3,000 for the fuel, 4,000 for the tank total, and this one, oh. I really don't want to reduce this core tank, but let's see, 2 meters. Was 3.8, and I want to go down to 3.6 something, okay. What if we shorten it a little bit instead? Cost here 27,200 something, okay. I want to stay with this and just reduce these a little. What if I go down to 1 meter here? Not too bad. Meter and 4.5 meters, so basically reducing the that has cut down cost by about 1,500, 1,400. Also not too bad. And it's basically what we wanted here, so that's good. Without having to change the diameter of this one, and I know we have somewhere 1 meter SRBs already, I think. But oh, the thrust to weight is a little high now. On 115 please. 125, 115. Yes, excellent. Okay, save this. The next time we need one of these. Although maybe I should have saved the booster stage before that as a sub-assembly, because it's actually a nice, really nice booster. How much is the weight of the thing above it? That's 8 tons. Okay, well. Yeah, 8 tons to orbit booster. Okay. And actually I have a similar one or different one here for the same purpose. Let's see. But that's with the proper fairing base, okay. So let's say this. And how do they behave? First of all, a lot more expensive. Second of all, a lot more deltaV. This booster is actually a lot more. What's this one? Okay, so that's like what we have here. Just heavier. Okay. Well, I know where to find it, so that's okay. Oh, unsafe. Now, this has been taken care of, yes. These, well, resupply needs bigger booster. Okay. So theoretically this should have been fine. That was probably because I... Now let me check this with the... that's the wrong tank. Okay. I still have the other tank. That's again RCS tank, that's not what I wanted. Alright. Okay, I need a different tank. Okay, so that's 125 by 2 meter. And actually let me right here. And I had about 70 units of monopropellant, 72 or oh, no. Like this. And just give me a whatever engine, thank you. Like to add. Ooh. And now let's compare. This one was 1.3 tons and this one, yeah, 2.3 tons. That's why the booster, it should still have been pretty powerful. I have no idea why it was underpowered. Or maybe, actually maybe that was the old style because I used the old resupply. So maybe it's already fixed and we will see when we launch the new ones. Okay, Minmus thing is underway. Then let's just take care of this maneuver next. Okay, this one. Kind of, oh, yeah, a lot of interesting maneuvers here. Let's join this vessel and make sure this burn will actually happen. So just to be sure, let's request it to be performed by the computer. pointed to the moon, and that is pointed to mission control. Let's have a look. Okay, the moon is probably too far away, but we have a direct connection to mission control, and that will stay active for the next 2.5 hours. And let's observe once the maneuver finishes whether we have any unexpected changes. Yes, we do have quite a change here, but it's not really that big. Let's say focus view. We need to change this maneuver slightly. That's this, remove this, turn it off. Actually rotate properly into the sun again. Okay, and now I wanted a polar orbit. Probably I didn't even bother setting this up yet. Okay. So that's in some counter the moon. What if I remove this? Okay, ascending node is there. Oh. Okay, let's delete this again. Let's see. Say we our that will work. Okay. I can easily get equatorial, but not polar. Let's see. If I do 1.5 here. That's all rather irritating. Let's try there. Problem is that, let's see this again. We're pretty much at the ascending node when we encounter the moon, right? Well, shortly after, so we are slightly above the plane, but and also outside. What I would need, let's try to fix it properly. We add a maneuver here to reduce orbit by a little. Faster, and add another maneuver node here. Also reduce the orbit further. Approach is there. Yeah, why not like this? No, that also won't work. Oh, the moon is at 11,400. Let's say at apoapsis I want to change the periapsis to 11,400. Create. Then I definitely have a right and proper moon encounter and just need to get it into the correct plane. But there. Okay. And I want maybe 250 kilometers or something, I don't know yet. What if I... okay, this does not change anything. These are negligible, both of them. So let's actually remove them. So okay. This time we will get a proper maneuver. I still want about 250. Oh, 228 will do. Okay, looks okay to me. Not quite what I had expected, but okay. And then add periapsis, circularize. Something like this. Execute all of these nodes. Total flight plan is 186 meters per second. We will have almost 1,000 left after that. Let's see what's next. That's in 2 days. That's quite a long time. So I have MunTourist thingies. First solar org training is 1 day, 2 hours away. That's 2 days. Let me check the time. 40 minutes something. So I would say I will end the episode here. Hopefully no more audio glitches. Thank you for joining me on this. I will probably just perform these boring standard mid-course burns between episodes and meet you again, hopefully, in the next episode. Have a nice one. Bye bye.